The hospital reeks of bleach and wet iron, like a wound that never heals. The fluorescent lights above me hum, a steady high-pitched note that drills into my skull. I've been on my feet for 18 hours. Maybe more time has long since dissolved into the endless shuffle of rubber saws and the low beeps of monitors. My hands smell of latex and sweat. My back is a knot of stone. I'm tired in a way that seeps deeper than muscle down into marrow. But I don't stop. I never stop. Because if I stop, things unravel. If I let myself rest, something will break and it won't be just me. So I keep moving, one patient to the next, patching wounds, changing IVs, steadying shaking hands, answering questions that have no answers. My smile is a mask I know too well, carved into my face until the skin aches. The world outside the hospital feels far away, like another life. I used to know the rhythm of mornings, the softness of weekends, the taste of coffee that wasn't gulped down between emergencies. Now I know corridors, blood pressure cuffs, the rattle of gurney wheels, the cries of people who don't want to be here but must. I've made myself a wall against it all. Strong, solid, until the wall itself starts to crack. The phone in my pocket vibrates, sharp and insistent. For a second, I think it's just another alert from the nurse's station. But no, this vibration is different, longer, urgent. I tug it free with stiff fingers, glance at the screen. It's my daughter. Her name lights up the glass, and with it, something inside me twists hard. She never calls me during a shift. Never. She knows I can't always answer. My heart is already pounding as I step out into the cold stairwell, pressing the phone to my ear. Mom? Her voice is broken. Thin. I hear her breathing, ragged, wet with tears. Mom, I can't. The world tilts. I press my back to the wall, sliding down a step. The air suddenly too thick to swallow. Baby, what is it? What happened? A small, shuddering sob. Then words that cut sharper than any scalpel. I can't get in the house. The door won't open. I'm locked out. The stairwell feels like it's collapsing, the concrete closing in. I grip the phone so tight my knuckles pop. What do you mean you can't get in? My voice is a whisper, but inside, panic claws, a wild animal tearing through ribs. I tried my key, she says, gasping. It won't fit. Mom, I'm scared. All our stuff is outside in the rain. I don't understand. Her words dissolve into sobs. And I'm already on my feet, already moving, the exhaustion in my bones evaporating, replaced by a hot rush of adrenaline. My chest burns. My throat is dry. My vision blurs as I shove through the hospital doors and into the night, the rain hitting me like 1,000 needles. I run. I don't even remember telling anyone I'm leaving. My shift, my patience, the chaos inside, none of it matters. Only her voice, her fear, the image of her standing alone in the storm. My heart hammers louder than the storm around me. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. The rain is relentless, needling into my skin like it's trying to carve its way through to the bone. The pavement is slick under my shoes, every step a slap of water that soaks through cheap rubber soles and into my socks. My scrubs cling to me, heavy and cold, fabric plastered to my legs like seaweed dragging me under. My lungs burn as I run, each breath a gulp of wet, icy air that scorches on the way down. The city blurs around me, headlights streaking like comets, horns blaring in distant bursts, the sharp tang of exhaust mixing with the earthy scent of rain and oil rising from the asphalt. The streetlights smear halos across puddles, little molten suns that ripple and shatter as my feet crash through them. My hair is plastered to my forehead, strands whipping into my eyes, sticking to my mouth. I taste salt sweat, rain, fear. My badge slaps against my chest with each stride, the plastic edge biting into bruised skin. People stare as I barrel past shadows under umbrellas, huddled figures pressed into doorways, their faces ghostly in the sodium glow. Some flinch at the sight of me, this wild-eyed woman in hospital scrubs tearing through the night like she's being chased by death itself. Maybe I am. Maybe I've been chased by it for years. Every shift, every patient, every code blue, it's been at my heels. And now it's not stranger on a gurney, It's my child. My baby. Alone. Crying. Locked out in the storm. A car splashes through a puddle beside me, drenching me further. I barely flinch. My legs are lead and lightning all at once, heavy with fatigue, electrified with purpose. My shoulder clips a mailbox, pain flaring down my arm, but I just keep going. A woman calls after me, something I don't catch, her voice lost in the wind. I don't turn. I don't stop. The night is one long tunnel, lined with the blurred shapes of porches and neon signs. Laundromats closed for the night, storefront gates pulled down like metal jaws. The world feels hostile, watching, waiting, testing me. I turn a corner too sharply, my foot sliding out from under me. I slam into a fence, metal rattling beneath my weight. My teeth clamp down on a curse. I push off and keep running. My thighs tremble. My calves scream. My hands shake so badly I nearly drop the phone still clutched in my palm. Baby? I gasp into it between breaths. Stay on the line. I'm coming. Her voice is small. Mom, it's cold. And that does it. Something deep in my chest fractures. Not breaks, no. Breaking implies weakness. This is different. This is a seam bursting open to release something molten. A fire. I run faster. Street by street, block by block, the neighborhood begins to change. Familiar cracks in the sidewalk. Familiar fences. Familiar trees bending under the weight of rain. My vision swims, not from exhaustion now, but from memory. The first day we moved into that house. Me carrying boxes bigger than I was strong enough for, laughing through the ache. Her helping with her tiny hands, dropping toys on the floor and calling it unpacking. The smell of fresh paint. The echo of our voices in empty rooms. The first night we slept there, just the two of us on a mattress on the floor. Window cracked open to let in the summer breeze and the sound of crickets. Our home. Ours, another turn. Another splash of filthy water up my shins. My knees nearly buckle. Then through the sheet of rain I see it. Our street, our house, and in front of it, shapes. A pile. A mound of colors and textures I know too well. Not trash, not debris, clothes, boxes, toys, furniture. Our life, thrown out into the gutter like refuse, and beside it, my child, standing in the rain, clutching a soaked backpack to her chest, eyes wide and red, lower lip trembling. And standing behind her, two figures under an umbrella. One of them smiling, but not kindly. Not even human. The umbrella shakes in her hand as she steps forward, the rim of it dripping rain onto the sidewalk, onto the scattered remnants of our life. Her face is made up, flawless, pale against the gray sky, lips curved in that slow, knowing smile I've hated my whole life. Beside her, a man leans lightly on the porch railing, arms folded, watching me like some spectator at a sport I didn't choose to play. My daughter sees me first. She runs, legs splashing through puddles, arms flinging themselves around me with a wet, desperate hug. Her small body is shaking, not from the cold alone, but from fear, confusion, terror. I wrap my arms around her, feeling her ribs press against mine, feeling the wetness soak through my scrubs, feeling her heartbeat thrum in frantic, uneven pulses. I taste salt, hers, mine, the rain. Mom, she whispers against my shoulder. She said this is her house now. She signed something. I don't understand. I close my eyes for a heartbeat, and the world behind that moment slips into memory. I see her as a child, the same pale, cunning little sister I used to protect. I see my hands brushing away tears from scraped knees she hid from our mother. I see me tying her shoelaces when she fumbled, carrying her lunch to school when she forgot it. I remember hiding her from bullies, taking the blame for things she did, teaching her how to lie just enough to avoid punishment. Always I was the shield. Always I carried her. And now she stands as my enemy, using the same cunning I once admired, turning every memory into a weapon. My throat tightens, but I breathe. Slowly, methodically. Anger burns like a furnace inside me, hot and liquid. spreading through my limbs. My body trembles not from the cold, but from the sheer weight of betrayal. She didn't just take a house. She tried to erase my life, my daughter's life, everything we built together. And yet I stand. "Hello, Claire," she says, sweet as syrup, venom just under the surface. Her voice drips politeness. "I didn't expect you to get home so fast. The paperwork was finalized last week. The house, well, it's officially mine now." The man beside her clears his throat, a faint smirk under his trimmed mustache. He says nothing else. He doesn't need to. I step closer. My soaked shoes squelch against the wet sidewalk. I kneel, brushing my daughter's hair back from her face. "It's okay," I whisper to her, voice low, firm. "I'm here. I've got you." Then I turn to her. Sister, enemy, betrayer. "You," I say, my voice measured, cutting through the rain. Low, cold, steel in each syllable. "You made a mistake. A fatal one." She tilts her head, smiling still, not breaking eye contact. "You think this changes anything? It's done. Everything's in my name. You can't." "I'm not asking." I step closer, letting the rain plaster my hair to my forehead, letting the wet cling to my arms like armor. "You have everything you wanted, a name on a piece of paper. A lock, a show of power. Congratulations." Her lips twitch, the tiniest flicker of unease. She senses the truth beneath my words, the calm that is not submission, the stillness that is not fear. "But it's not the end," I continue louder, letting the syllables hang in the storm. "Not for me. Not for her. Not for what you stole. This isn't over. Not by a long shot." I take my daughter's hand. Tiny, warm, clutching mine as if she knows she always knows that I am her anchor. She watches us. Her umbrella shivers in the wind. I hear neighbors peeking from curtained windows, silhouettes blurred, whispering. They see the remnants of our life, books, clothes, toys, furniture soaked and scattered. And yet, we do not flinch. We do not falter. "You thought this would break us," I say, voice even, slicing through the rain like a knife. "You thought you could erase years of care, of love, of blood and sweat with a few signatures and some wet wood. You underestimated me." She straightens, trying for hauteur. "And you, what? You think you can fight this? Through the courts? Through—" "I will fight." I interrupt, calm, not pleading, not screaming. Just the steel of certainty. I will fight, and I will win. And you will never ever hold power over us again. Her smile falters. The wind whips, rain hammering the umbrella, turning her careful composure into shivering doubt. I bend down, checking my daughter's soaked coat, tucking her hair behind her ears. "Come on," I whisper. "We're leaving." We walk away together, puddles splashing under each step, the rain hammering our shoulders, dripping from noses and hair. Every fiber of my being hums with the quiet fury of determination, not vengeance. Not chaos, precision, plan, patience. I glance back once, and I see her staring, mouth opening slightly, caught between anger and comprehension. I do not smile. I do not nod. I do not offer solace. I do not give her the satisfaction of my fear. We vanish into the night. The scattered remnants of our life remain behind, but they are not lost. They are waiting, just as I am, for the moment to rebuild. The rain cuts through me like knives, but I barely feel it now. My daughter's hand in mine is small but firm. She trusts me without question, even now, soaked and shivering. I draw her closer, wrapping an arm around her shoulders, and she leans into me, letting the storm hit us both without fear. The house looms behind us, dark and empty except for the shadowed shapes of our past. My sister's voice carries faintly, sweet and insistent, the lilt of honey hiding the bite of venom. "You think walking away solves anything? You think you can just leave?" I don't turn. My voice is low, even and cold as ice. "I'm not leaving. I'm just reclaiming my own steps. Every inch you thought you controlled, You won't touch it again. She steps forward, her umbrella slipping from her fingers, rain plastering her hair to her face. You don't understand. This is bigger than you. Bigger than her. Bigger than us. I understand perfectly. I say. You underestimated me. You always have. Each word lands like a hammer, precise, measured, unflinching. My daughter tightens her grip on my hand, sensing the weight behind the calm. The neighbors watch from behind curtains and half-open blinds. Their eyes flick between the scattered remnants of what we were and the resolute figure in the rain. They see me, drenched and exhausted, but unbroken. I do not flinch. I do not plead. I do not ask for mercy. I simply stand the storm pounding around me and say what must be said. You made a mistake, a fatal one. Silence. The wind roars, the rain hammers the street, but her voice fails. For the first time, she is unarmed. Her carefully constructed smile slips, replaced by a shadow of uncertainty. I guide my daughter forward. Step by step, puddle by puddle, we leave the house and the betrayal behind. My mind is already assembling the plan, the path, the strategy, courts, lawyers, paperwork, evidence, every signature, every transaction, every lie she crafted. I will unravel it all, and I will do it with precision. I will take back what is mine, what belongs to my daughter, what belongs to us. I breathe in the storm, the rain biting at my skin, and I feel the old fear and exhaustion wash away. There is only clarity, only purpose, only the unshakable understanding that I am the architect of my own life. No one else will ever hold that power over me again. We turn a corner. The house is behind us now, distant, a ghost in the rain-soaked night. My daughter looks up at me, her small face streaked with water, her eyes wide with trust and awe. I squeeze her hand. It's not over, I whisper, not as a threat, not as a plea, as a promise. And in that moment, walking into the wet, cold night, I know it is true. This is only the beginning. I will fight. I will win. I will rebuild. And nothing, not the signatures, not the locks, not her lies will ever control us again. I am tired, soaked to the bone, every muscle screaming, but I am alive. I am whole. I am unbreakable. The storm pounds around us. And I smile. Because now, finally, I am free. The storm has passed, but I carry it in my bones. Each droplet of rain that soaked me is now memory, a pulse of fury and resolve. My daughter sleeps in the car, curled against the seat, small and trusting. I watch her chest rise and fall, even in slumber, and I feel the weight of every betrayal she has endured. It fuels me. It steadies me. We arrive at my temporary apartment, small and smelling faintly of damp carpet and old coffee. I let the door click shut behind us, listen for the echo of the lock turning, and feel its space reclaimed, momentary but mine. I sit at the kitchen table, water dripping from my hair onto the worn wood, and let my hands rest in my lap. The silence hums like electricity. I close my eyes and remember every single detail. The papers my sister filed, the notarized documents with my signature forged, the phone calls she made to manipulate the neighbors, the smirks, the polite lies. It is all evidence. Everything is a thread, and I will unravel it one by one. I begin with the obvious, the documents. I make a list, not a simple list, but a ledger. Every date, every signature, every legal step she took without my knowledge. I take photos. I compare them to my own handwriting. I note discrepancies. I locate witnesses who remember the day the papers were signed, the clerk who processed them, the neighbor who saw her leave the house with forms in hand. Every detail is recorded, every fact cataloged. Sleep becomes optional. Meals are punctuated with coffee and stress. My body aches from exhaustion, but I don't feel it the same way anymore. Pain has become fuel. I visit the courthouse, quietly, learning the rhythm of the clerks, the speed of processing requests, the tone of judges who deal with family disputes every day, but rarely see one as calculated as mine. I read through precedent cases, Every ruling on forged signatures, property disputes, guardianship claims. Each page is a brick in the wall I am building. The law is slow, deliberate, but it is precise. And I am more patient than anyone has ever been with her. At night, I lie awake, reviewing my strategy. I anticipate her moves, the calls she might make, the lies she could spread to neighbors or friends. I write counter-arguments, prepare exhibits, organize evidence in folders that smell faintly of paper and ink. I practice my words, my voice cold and controlled. Not a scream, not a threat, just clarity, legality, undeniable truth. My daughter notices my focus but never questions it. She sees my determination, sees that I will not relent, and in that she learns strength. Together, we talk quietly about fairness, about honesty, about the truth that exists whether people acknowledge it or not. She knows now that the world is not always kind, but that it can be corrected if you are willing to stand and claim it. Weeks pass, months. I file the first motions. I hire a lawyer who does not flinch at my calm, deliberate fury, who understands precision and patience as weapons as sharp as any blade. We request audits of any changes in property taxes, check for utility transfers, verify mortgage documents. Every signature forged, every misrepresentation documented. Neighbors begin to notice small shifts. Letters arrive from the city, asking for verification of ownership. Emails from utility companies request confirmation. The seeds of doubt are planted. My sister, for all her confidence, begins to strain. Politeness slips in subtle ways. A comment, a hesitation, a word said too carefully. I do not celebrate. I do not gloat. I continue to work, methodically, meticulously. My daughter grows in my shadow, learning the language of persistence, of deliberate action. Each day we make small progress, invisible to those who do not watch carefully. But progress is happening. Finally, the court date arrives. I dress simply, in dark clothing that absorbs the rain but speaks no drama. My daughter's hand is in mine, warm, real, grounding. I step into the courtroom and feel the quiet hum of attention. Every document, every witness, every photo, every record is there. Orderly, undeniable. My sister's confident smile flickers as I speak, not with anger, but with clarity and authority that makes her small. The judge listens. The evidence is irrefutable. Her forgeries, her manipulations, her claims all unravel like wet paper in my hands. The law, slow and deliberate, bends toward truth, and I am its architect. When the ruling comes, the house is returned to me. My name, my daughter, my home all restored. I walk back through the front door, careful not to step too quickly, letting each step soak in the gravity of victory. Not vengeance, not spectacle. Justice, precise, patient, undeniable. I walk through each room, touching surfaces, inhaling the familiar scents of wood and paint, memory and home. I look at my daughter and smile softly. She clings to me, her small arms wrapped around my waist, and I feel the final weight lift. Outside, neighbors glance through curtains, witnessing not drama but calm authority. They see the woman who was wronged, returning not with fury, but with the inevitability of truth. And I know this. I will never depend on anyone to guard what is mine again. I will never allow manipulation or deceit to take root in my life. I have rebuilt. I have reclaimed. I have returned. The storm is gone. The house stands, solid. And inside we stand unshakable. The morning sun spills weak and pale through the blinds, cutting narrow lines across the floorboards. The house smells of wood polish and baked bread, familiar and deliberate. I move through the rooms, checking locks, verifying security systems, adjusting alarms. Everything is accounted for. Every entrance, every window, every corner is mine. Safe, predictable, controlled. I hear my daughter in the kitchen, humming quietly as she arranges her breakfast. I pause in the doorway, watching her small hands work carefully, listening to the rhythm of normal life. It is fragile, yes, but it is ours. And I am determined it will remain so. I begin the day with paperwork. Not because I enjoy it, but because precision is power. 1. Organize legal documents, property records, and correspondence with city officials. I establish automatic payments, update addresses, and schedule inspections. Every routine I create strengthens the life we are rebuilding. Every detail is armor. The phone rings. I answer. A woman on the line hesitates, then begins to speak. A story of betrayal, of a house stolen, a child at risk. I listen, carefully, calmly. I ask questions, take notes, verify details. By the time we hang up, she has a plan, and I have a new responsibility. I drive to a community center, small, tucked between a library and a church. I speak to a room of women who have endured their own versions of manipulation and deceit. I do not offer platitudes. I do not promise easy solutions. I offer strategy, organization, and truth. I teach them how to document, how to protect themselves, how to reclaim what was taken. Their eyes are wide with recognition, gratitude, and quiet fire. At home, my daughter and I plant a garden in the backyard. It is clumsy, chaotic work, mud in our shoes, leaves in our hair, but it is ours. Every seed is a tiny act of reclamation, a proof that life continues, that growth is possible. I tell her softly, strength is not just surviving. Strength is building, even after everything has tried to break you. Weeks stretch into months. I host small gatherings with neighbors, carefully cultivating relationships that matter, observing those who might act in bad faith, quietly recording irregularities, yet not needing to act. Life is full, structured, and safe. Every measure I take is deliberate, each one reinforcing our independence. I volunteer with legal aid, helping women with property disputes, custody battles, or forged documents. Their stories mirror mine. The fear, the exhaustion, the sense of isolation. I guide them, not as someone who survived by chance, but as someone who learned to wield patience, precision, and authority. I teach them to protect what is theirs, and in doing so, I transform the pain into purpose. Night falls, and I sit on the porch, a cup of tea warming my hands. My daughter sleeps inside, windows open to the cool night air. I breathe deeply. The house is quiet, secure. The past is behind me. There is no shadow of my sister here. Only the life we are building. I know now that freedom is not a moment, it is a practice. A discipline. A refusal to let anyone else dictate the terms of your existence. I have learned to walk with quiet authority, to act with precision, to protect without anger, to teach without fear. I smile faintly, looking at the stars, tiny and distant but certain in their place. I am present, I am alive. I am unshakable. And in that moment, I make a promise to myself and my daughter. We will never again be victims. We will never again be silent. We will never again allow our lives to be written by someone else. I step inside, close the door, and feel it final, absolute, indestructible. The storm is over. The house, the garden, the life, the authority, they are ours. And we are free.